Hi again, it's Pat with River's Edge Chev, and I'm going to be making a savory pie crust or tart crust tonight. What I'm using is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt, and 8 ounces of garlic infused butter. I have cooked the butter with a good big handful of chopped garlic on top of the stove, and I let it infuse for about a half hour on a low temperature, so that the butter it was almost like a brown butter situation, but I didn't let it go that far. And what I'm going to do now is chunk up this butter and then add it to the food processor with the flour and salt and blend it up until it's like sand. And then I'll be adding the rest of the butter. So you start with about half of the butter, and then as it processes it down, you'll add the rest of the butter so that there's like flakes of butter in the pie dough. It smells really good. So that's about half of the butter chunked up. And it has some of the milk solids with little bits of the garlic down in the bottom, which will add to the savoriness of the pie crust. I'm going to chunk up the rest of this and put it in the food processor. And this is the part that's going to make it nice and flaky. Everybody talks about a flaky pie crust. Well, what you want to do is you split your butter up, you process part of it, and then you add the last part, and then just process it until there's just really fine little pea-sized or small pea-sized pieces of butter that will incorporate into your pie crust, and then it's going to create the little flaky texture. There we go, there's the second addition of butter, along with some of the milk solids from the bottom. And the milk solids, because I used salted butter, the milk solids are nice and salty, which I think adds a really nice flavor to it. It has lots of the garlic flavor. And when you're doing this, when you're processing it like this, you do not want to take the butter down to little tiny pieces. You want them to be about the size, if you've got small fingernails, a small pinky nail. So that's about the size you want them to be, a small pea size. Okay, that looks about good. So it looks about like this. You can see that there's pieces of the butter still left in it that are about pea-sized. Some are a little smaller, some are a little bit bigger. Like that one there is a little bit bigger, but that's good. You want that. The garlic butter just smells wonderful. And to this I'm going to add some ice water. And you make a well in the middle of your flour like this. You make a well in it. And then you'll add a couple tablespoons of ice water at a time. And 2 tablespoons is roughly an eighth of a cup. So now we've added 4 tablespoons, so that would be a quarter of a cup. And what I'm going to be doing with this crust, the pie crust or tart crust, is I'm going to be making a tomato pie and also a mushroom tart. They're variations on the same recipe. So we're adding 2 more tablespoons. So we're up to 6 tablespoons now. Okay, we're about there with 6 tablespoons of water. It looks like it's going to come together pretty nice now. And you don't need this. You basically just kind of press it together so that it will hold into a disc. And you can see that this is coming together really pretty well. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put this into a piece of plastic wrap and make it into just a disc and flatten it out so that it's about 6 inches across. And then tomorrow, after this rested in the refrigerator overnight, I'm going to proceed with the tomato and the mushroom pie and tart. And we'll continue with that tomorrow. So this is just going to rest overnight. It does not have to rest overnight, but because it's getting late, I'm not going to continue with this tonight. So tomorrow, when we continue with this, I'm going to show you how I roast the tomatoes to make the pie, and then also how I saute up the mushrooms. And then with the filling with the cheese and different herbs and garlic in it. Anyway, okay, so we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you for watching.